At this time of year, we have loads and loads of chilies in the greenhouse, and of course the orchard is bearing all its wonderful fruit of apples. So we're going to put them together and make a family favourite of ours, and I hope it becomes a family favourite of yours, chilli and apple jam. Hello, welcome to English Country Life. Welcome to the kitchen, welcome to making chilli jam, or chilli jelly. Technically, in the UK, if you run it through a jelly bag, you filter it, you strain out the lumps of fruit and you get a clear end result, that's a jelly. If you've got big bits of fruit in it, that's a jam. But in other countries, it isn't always the same as that, and they use the words differently. So call it chilli jelly, call it chilli jam, call it whatever you like. It's got apples in it as well, so let's call it chilli and apple jam for now. That's what we call it in our family, and our family love it. Now, this isn't the video we intended to make this week. We were actually halfway through filming selecting a chicken coop video, but the wind has got up and it's howling a gale out there, and honestly, it's just going to ruin the sound quality of that video. And I was talking last night to our friend Annette, who's moved into the area, for which we're tremendously grateful, and we gave her some chilli plants earlier in the year because I always grow too many. And she was making chilli jam. In fact, I think she was saying she's going to make a third batch of chilli jam. And I thought, I haven't made chilli jam for a couple of years and my daughter loves it. And actually, I love it and Fiona loves it, so why haven't I made some? We've got a greenhouse full of chillies, we've got an orchard full of apples. Let's get going. So today I want to share our recipe with you. It's super simple, it's super quick, and it's super reliable. It's always a favourite, and it's a great thing to make some up, and you can give it as gifts at Christmas. Honestly, no one I've ever given it to has complained. Usually they're asking for a second jar. So let's show you how we do it. Don't worry about trying to note down the ingredients or the method for this recipe. I'll put a downloadable version of the recipe in the description down below. It's a wonderful thing and it's great to eat with cold meats or with cheese. Enjoy. Let's talk apples for a minute. Apples are the bulk of the fruit that go into this jelly, and apples naturally have pectin, but different apples have different amounts. The ideal for this, if you're going to buy them, is a green cooking apple. But what I've got a glut of at the moment are these sunsets, and they are actually a ripe dessert apple, and they're fairly low in pectin and they won't set the jelly very hard. So there's two ways that I can up that pectin level. I can add our own liquid pectin, which we do make, or I can add something to the recipe that's naturally high in pectin, and I'm going to do that. If you've got access to crab apples, they are absolutely packed with pectin. And we planted crab apples in our orchard mainly as a pollinator for all the cooking and dessert apple trees. But they are also brilliant for making jelly and for making your own pectin. So I'm going to add 200 grams of crab apple for each kilo of the sunset dessert apples to get a good set on the jelly. Our other main ingredient is chilli, and I'm going to use these chilies in two different ways. I'm going to use mild to medium chilies like these lemon Aggies, but I'm also going to add some red and green Tabasco chilies, and these are going to form the pieces of the chili that you're probably familiar with seeing in chilli jam. But I also want to infuse the apple juice that we're going to create with some chili heat, so it's not just a mild jam with some chili bits. And to do that, when I cook up the apples, I'm also going to add some of these Scotch bonnet chilies. They'll all get strained out, but the chili heat will get infused into the apple juice and into the jam itself. So that'll give me chili coming at it in two ways. Finally, I'll add red and green peppers, which I'll dice up with the lemon Aggies and the Tabasco to create beautiful multicoloured pieces. Now that we've got all of our ingredients out of the garden, let's just give everything a really good wash. One thing I really like about this recipe is the amount of prep time before we get cooking is really very low. All I do, rinse off the crab apples, the chilies and the apples, and then with the crab apples they can just go straight into the pan. There's no point in cutting them. The bigger apples, I just roughly chop them. I don't core them, I don't peel them, because actually the core and peel has far more pectin in it than the apple itself. So we're just opening them up so the water can dissolve all that flesh into a pulp. They can go into the pan on top of the crab apples, and then we'll get on with the chilies. Now, I'm adding 2 Scotch bonnets per kilo of apples. That's quite a lot, but I like a tangy jelly. You can choose different chilies or different amounts. One thing I will remove is just the stalk, but everything else gets chopped, seeds, everything goes in on top of the apples. I'll add 30 millilitres of lemon juice per kilo of apples just to get that acidity up and to help it set. And then I'm going to put in enough water to effectively almost to cover the apples if you hold them down. But a mistake I've made in the past, of course, is they float. So this actually has got more than enough water in it, and you can push the apples under the surface. So gas on, get it up to a boil, and it'll look something like this. Now that may look done, but actually what we really want to do for this recipe is to stew that for 45 minutes to an hour. So honestly, all you're left then is a thick paste, and in that paste there may be a few bits of chili flesh, a few apple sort of seeds and skins, but everything else has dissolved in. And that way we'll get all the chili flavour imbued with all the apple flavour, and all we want to sieve out is the large pieces of material. So let's strain that off next. Once you've stewed everything down to a sort of thick paste, then it's time to strain it off. Now I'm using a big straining bag, a fine mesh straining bag, normally used in winemaking here, but for most people a jelly bag is fine. If you haven't got a jelly bag, just a sieve and a piece of clean cloth will work perfectly well. Whatever you use, let the liquid drip out of the fruit pulp for a reasonable amount of time till it's down to occasional drips. And then gather up the cloth and squeeze and try and force out every last drop of liquid. That's a bad idea in winemaking, but a very good idea in jam making. It gets the most of the pectin into the liquid. While the liquid's straining off, I'm going to prepare the chilies for inclusion into that strained liquid. And all I'm doing is removing the stalks and finely chopping the rest of the chili. I'll leave the seeds in and all the pith in the middle, just the stalks removed. What I do like though is a combination of both colours and flavours. So I've got yellow lemon algae, and to that I'm going to add some of the red Tabasco that we've still got plenty of, and even some green Tabasco, because I think those 3 colours together look absolutely stunning. Now honestly, you can't get enough of that into the sauce without it becoming overwhelmingly hot for a good look. So I also add bell peppers, and in total I'm going to add about half a bell pepper and 2 chilies for each kilo of apples that we started with. And I think with a combination of those things, that gives enough flakes, enough colour without it becoming unbearably hot to the taste. Now once I've got all my liquid, I'm going to add for each litre of liquid a kilo of sugar, and then I'm going to add my chilies and any liquid pectin. I need to bring the whole thing up to a boil, and you want a proper rolling boil, not a gentle simmer. And when you get it there, what you're going to find is you're going to get some white foam that comes up, and that's all the cellulose coming out of the vegetable matter. You need to skim that off with a shallow spoon. It's a bit of a game, and I'm sorry about the focus, the steam threw the camera off, because you don't want to take out the chili flakes, but you do want to remove as much of the foam as you possibly can. As you're doing that, you want to hold that rolling boil for a good solid 15 minutes to really get the temperature up. Get your jam up to its setting temperature. If you've got a kitchen thermometer, the setting temperature you should be able to achieve after 15 minutes here is 105 centigrade, or even a little bit higher. We managed to get to 106, and that indicates a good set. But you can also do this with a cold plate. So chill some plates in advance, and then when you get to your 15-minute boil time, get a spoonful of your mixture, pour it onto the cold plate, and just let it cool for a minute or 2. You often get a feel for it already on the spoon, but after a minute or 2, what you should be able to do is run your finger through the jelly, and it won't flow back together, and that indicates it's no longer a liquid and it's achieved the setting point. You'll certainly also be able to feel it on the sides of the pan. Once once you've got there, get a jam funnel and a ladle and get some pre-warmed jars. Just warm them up to gas mark 100 centigrade. It sterilises them and it stops them shattering when you put the hot jam mixture in. Once you've filled your jars, put clean new lids on the top and seal them up, and hot jam in hot jars won't be carrying any mould spores. That's over 20 jars, pound jars at that, of chilli and apple jam. We love it. We'll give some away to our friends and neighbours as well, of course, because, you know, you've got to share in the bounty at this time of year, haven't you? If you've enjoyed that recipe, can you spare us 5 seconds? Give us a thumbs up down below. If you'd like to see more preserving, we were contacted recently on social media with people who said, oh, please help us preserve our autumn glut. What are you struggling with? Let us know in the comments. If you've got stuff you want help, you want to know about techniques to preserve it, just tell us and we'll make some videos on it. And if you want to see those videos and all the other self-reliant living stuff that we do, just whack on the subscribe button and the bell next to it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you'll hear every time we upload a new video. But whatever you do, come back and see us soon. Take care.